What's up, everybody? You know who this is. This is AJ Copeland, and this is Topics to Go. And I want to talk today. I just want to talk about a couple of things that's on my mind. I'm not necessarily have a title for it as of yet, but I just want to talk about a few things. And the thing that I want to talk about is individuals that are seeking others, that have money, houses, land, individuals that are giving up their independence, giving up your independence. So we're going to talk about independence and what it means and what that implies. Today, I notice that a lot of individuals, if you ever go on, social sites, various social sites, dating social sites, you will go through the profiles. You could see on the various profiles with a lot of individuals seeking people with stuff. They said, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have a car, you got to have your own place. You got to have a good job, you got to look a certain way, your body got to be a certain way, your face got to be a certain way. They laying out all these rules and all these expectations of you, but they never really address themselves. They never talk about what they have to offer, what they're bringing to the table. And that has created a problem when it comes to trying to find someone to be committed to on a serious relationship, or in some cases, it has created a problem even in having friendships, because people expect individuals to look and act and have certain things in life, and they themselves have nothing. And I think when individuals live their lives in that way, when people live their lives in that way, they are losing their independence. And what I mean by losing their independence is that when you fail to get things, or seek to get things, or try to get things on your own, and you always trying to find somebody else to get it for you, you have lost yourself, because now you're not worth anything. I get it. Most individuals now, most men and women now have made themselves like merchandise. You know what I mean? They're merchandise. They sell their bodies to the highest bidder. That's why a lot of people are in the gym these days. Some people are in the gym because they're concerned about their health. True that. But then you have some people in the gym because they are merchandise. And they got to keep their merchandise intact. So, in my opinion, whenever a person is willing to sell themselves and give themselves to others that they really don't care much about, younger and older. I think I addressed this in one of the videos when I talk about dating outside of your generation. But younger and older is a perfect example, because most young individuals feel like or think that if they are giving themselves to an older person, they have this expectation that the older person is supposed to do this or that. They lose themselves. Some of them become toy boys, or they become, I'll say, toy girls. You know what I mean? Living in the home only to satisfy the individual sexually, or and may not even be sexually, just to give them company. To take them out so they can show them off among their friends and brag about what they have up under their arms. Some people have placed themselves in situations like that for shoes and cars and houses and to be able to showboat somebody else's stuff. And I think that's the point that most people are missing when they choose that type of lifestyle. It's not your stuff. It's somebody else's stuff. And just like they gave it to you, they can take it away from you. And that's why it's important that you maintain your sense of worth, that you maintain your independence, that you know how to go out and do your own thing and get your own thing. And then the flip side of that, The other side of the coin is that you have individuals that are just lazy. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to work. They just want things to come to them. They just want things to be given to them. They're not willing to give, and they're not willing to work to get. They're just looking for somebody that's going to give it to them. And in some instances, a lot of them choose to steal and rob rather than to go out and get their own. And that's also a form of losing your independence. Because if you go out and steal and rob, what is the consequences of that? There is the possibility of going to jail for nothing. So how do you regain, if you're somebody that have lost your independence, how do you regain your independence? First, you got to look yourself in the mirror, and you got to examine yourself, and you got to look around you and say to yourself, what have I accomplished in my life? Now, I would give a pass to some persons that are young. If you are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I give you a pass of how much you should have at that stage in your life. But when you start getting into the ages of 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and on up, then things become questionable if you're always seeking for somebody to give you something. At some point in your life, that should change. And I would even say to the ones that are in their young teens and early 20s, that you don't want to start that pattern. You don't want to start a pattern of having an expectation for somebody to do something for you. Yeah, you may have the tight little body and a pretty face. But at the end of the day, all of that change as time goes on. And I know you might say, well, I'm going to take advantage of it while I have it. I get it. But I want you to think about something here. If everything you have and own belongs to somebody else, then what do you have and what is your worth? If everything you have and own, if the clothes on your back, somebody else bought them. If the car you drive and somebody else bought it. If the house you live in, somebody else is paying the mortgage or somebody else is paying the rent. If the education that you are getting, somebody else is paying for that education. You see, they are investing in you, true that. But you got to ask yourself the question, why is this person is willing to do all of this for you? Why are they willing to invest in you? You know why? Because they're looking for a return. And that return is control and to rob you of your independence. And independence go far beyond freedom, being able to go to the club, being able to drink, being able to do whatever you want to do when it comes to going shopping, being able to visit your friends. It goes far beyond that. It goes into an area where you can be able to make it on your own. When an individual say, I don't want no part of you, I don't want you no more, I don't want you in my life anymore, you could be able to make it on your own. And that's not the case, because in most situations, case in point, you have individuals that have moved from city to city to city because they're looking and searching for somebody to take care of them, and they have left their home state to follow somebody. I'll give you an example. Let's say they live in Atlanta, Georgia, and they meet somebody on a dating site or social media site, and they meet this person, and this person promised them the world, and they live with mom in Atlanta. And they're tired of living with mother. They ready to move. And let's say they're 21, 22 years old. And so they make the decision, a quick decision. I got me a man in New York that promised they're going to do this for me. They're going to take care of me. They're going to buy me a car. They're going to put me up in a house. They're going to buy me some clothes. They're going to buy me some shoes. And you take that jump and you move to New York. But then when you get to New York, you find out the person that you met on that dating site is not who they say they were at all. They're somebody totally differently. They don't have the things that they have. They don't have the house that they told you, the car that they told you. Yes, they got a job and they got a little of this and a little of that, but they don't have enough to take care of you and them too. But they move you in, and they make all of these demands all of a sudden. They're not the same person that you spoke with over the phone or you spoke to or you chatted with online. They're totally different. And now you're in their house and you have no money. That means you have no means to get back home. So now you got to depend on them to make it possible for you to make it back home if it's not working out. And so there you are struggling in a strange place with a strange person in a strange city. All because you were willing to give up your independence to get things, to have stuff. And you felt that you're worthy of it because you have the cute little body and the pretty face. And you feel like you're worthy of somebody giving you whatever because I look good enough, or I shouldn't even be with you because you're older. But I want you to think about this. Just like you feel like you're giving that older person something, don't get it twisted. That older person is giving you something as well. There is I wouldn't even say there's an even exchange there, because all you have to offer is your pretty face and your body. But what they offer you is their sets and their stuff and their things that you want. And the fact that you can go shopping and buy what you want. If you run across that type of individual, what the old school would call sugar daddies, or today's people would say friends with benefits. But in the midst of having friends with benefits, and in the midst of having sugar daddies, and in the midst of having someone else taking care of you while you're at home and not having to work, you are losing your independence. You are losing your self-worth. And the way you can get your self-worth back and the way you can get your independence back is that you got to understand that if nobody else is going to take care of you, nobody else is going to look after you, when things go bad, you got to take care of yourself. When that individual gets tired of you, what you going to do? How are you going to get home? What you going to do if they take the car away from you? What you going to do if they burn all the clothes that they bought you? What are you going to do? Are you going to leave that city and then that's the situation? Some people, they leave that person and then they go to another city, they meet another person and they go meet another person and they go meet another person and they go through the same thing over and over and over again. And before you know it, they're 40 years old and have nothing. I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman that I knew, and I met him when he was about, I would say 26, maybe 25, 26 years old. Very attractive, bright-skinned individual. And everywhere he went, he would draw people his way. I mean, there were individuals that were very much attracted to him. And everywhere he went, they was looking at him. They was attracted to him. And he would get those persons that were attracted to him to take care of him. And they would move him into their homes and buy his clothes and put money in his pocket and, let him use their cars and all that stuff. And all the while he was living like that, based on what somebody else had, he was losing himself. Because he wasn't saving any money. He wasn't going to school. He wasn't trying to live for his future. He wasn't taking advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him. He was just living off these individuals. And he would go from one person to the next person to the next person, living off these individuals. And he would never, ever be able to come up. And so the last time I saw him, he was in his 40s. And he had absolutely nothing. Because now he's not the pretty boy anymore. He's not the young man anymore. He's an older guy now. And he's not able to get the attention that he was getting when he was younger. So I'm saying to men and women alike, don't lose your independence. Now, I know everybody's going to Dubai right now. You got these women all over Facebook, bragging about the amount of money they do when they go to Dubai and have sets, and they're doing escorting and all this kind of stuff, and they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're doing this, they're doing that. And the funny thing about it is they're making all this money. When you got that kind of money, when you start making that kind of money, at some point you don't have to do that no more. I think individuals do that because they love doing it. They love sex. They love that. It's a challenge. It's it's an experience for them. They love that wildness, that wild life, as some call that freakish life. They love it. And so they keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. But if you're somebody that's not like that, and you want to live a regular life, you want to live a life of peace and harmony and love, and you want to have stuff and have I'm not even going to say the American dream. I'm going to say your dream. You want to live your dream. And your dream could be to have that nice home and that car and your clothing and a nice job. That could be your dream. Or your dream could be a millionaire. Or your dream could be to own your own business. Or your dream could be to become a doctor or a lawyer. Your dream could be to become a cook. Your dream could be to be working in management. I mean, you could have multiple dreams, to be a rapper, singer, whatever the case might be. When you lose your independence, you lose your dreams. Because those individuals are not focused on your dreams. Those individuals are focused on what they want from you at that time, at that moment. And it's going to get old. They're going to eventually get tired of you, because most men, and I'm going to say this, I want y'all to listen to me now. Most men that take persons in like that try to find the finest young men or the finest young women to sleep with and to move them in their homes, you're just temporary. Don't think that this is a lifelong scenario. You're just temporary, because eventually they're going to want something better, or something that looks better than you, or something that has a better body than you have. And they're going to eventually kick you out. And the question is, what will you do? That's the question. What will you do? So the bottom line is, don't lose your independence. Maintain, contain your independence. And begin to look at your life and say to yourself, what do I need to do so I don't have to depend on nobody for nothing? What do I have to do where I can be able to pay rent? What do I have to do so I can go out and be able to buy me a shirt or a pair of pants? What do I need to do so I can be able to move forward in my life, where I can go back to school and get my education? You may have started from the bottom, but you don't have to stay at the bottom. You can make it to the top. But you got to be wise on how you get there. And I want you to check out, should I have my video called Should I Have Roommates? Because that could be another avenue of you getting up on your feet. Get a job and getting up on your feet. And it doesn't matter if you start at McDonald's or Burger King or Zaxby's or whatever. Some money is better than no money. And you do what you have to do. But this whole thing about depending on somebody to take care of you now I'm going to say this and I'm going to get ready to close. If you make a decision if you are somebody that's attracted to some older person or attracted to somebody that has stuff, that's understandable as long as you're attracted to the person and not the stuff, not the things that they have. Because if you get in with people for the things that they have, remember, it's not yours. It don't belong to you. It's their stuff. Don't forget it. It's just like a child bragging about their parents being millionaires and their parents don't give them any money. You know why? Because it's not their money to give. It's not their money. In other words, what I mean is the parents don't have to give that grown adult child anything because it's their money. Sometimes we know famous and popular people. I met Michael Jackson. I know this person. I know that person. Just because you know somebody that is wealthy or famous doesn't make you wealthy and famous. And that's the same way about meeting somebody that may have some things. Doesn't mean that you have them. And I don't know why people get excited over somebody else's stuff. It's somebody else's stuff that you're getting excited over. Now, if you and an individual build your empire together, and the things that y'all have, y'all do it together, and the rent you pay, y'all pay it together, and you pay the light bill and all that stuff together, then it's both of you adding to the household. It's not a one-sided scenario. And in that way, you're not losing your independence. but you're learning. You're building it because you're learning how to be responsible and you're learning how to take care of yourself. And I'm going to say this, you older cats out there that's in your 30s, late 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and you still trying to find somebody to live off of, that's sad. And if you're taking advantage of these younger brothers and sisters, that's sad. Be real and be upfront with them and let them know, look, I will help you to a degree. I would help you to get on your feet. And once you get on your feet, it's up to you. Yeah, I carry this bill for a while. I carry this rent for a while. I do this for a while. But at some point, you're going to have to step in and assist. Don't rob them of their independence by telling them you're going to do everything and they never have to worry about nothing. You just rob them of their independence. Don't do that. You older cats should know better. Because I personally, I have carried a lot of folks. You know, I mean, I don't have a lot. And I've been in situations where I've allowed individuals to stay with me and not pay bills and not pay rent and different things like that because they needed my help. And once I saw that they were moving up and things were getting better and they were getting a job, then I came back and I said, okay, now it's time for you to contribute. Now it's time for you to help me out since I helped you out. I mean, that's the way it should be. And that way we both maintain our independence. So I'm going to leave you with this. Do not lose your independence for nothing. Because in reality, you actually losing it for nothing if what you losing it for, the things that you're losing it for don't belong to you. And you don't have no impact. You're not contributing anything to that individual's life for them to care anything about you. So this is Topics to Go. And I'm AJ Copeland. And thank you for listening. And by the way, don't forget that on July the 16th, which is on a Sunday at 4 o'clock, we're going to be having our first event called Love, Sex, and You. It's going to be at Jason's Deli. And we also we're going to be Facebook Live. Now, I know in one of the videos we made a mistake and said the 17th. But it's not the 17th. It's actually the 16th. And I would like for you all, if you can't join us at the location, I would like for you to join us here on Facebook Live. Join us on Facebook Live. That would be much appreciated. All right. And we may even put it up on YouTube. I don't know. It just depends. But I thank you all for your time and thank you for checking out the videos, Topics to Go. And I hope you enjoyed this. Do not lose your independence. Later.